Hey, what's going on? I'm Jordan Harris, and you're watching Sports Truth. In what I would call the surprise of the transfer portal season or bowl game season, whatever you want to call it, Cam Ward decides to go to the NFL draft. So he's going to forego his final year of eligibility and go to the NFL draft. So in this video, we're going to talk about why it was such a surprise to me that he chose this. We're going to talk about his decision process, so what he might have been weighing throughout this whole thing. And then I'm going to do a quick explanation on why maybe he made the decision that he made. And then we'll talk about Miami's plan forward because that's the most important thing, is if you ask me. So, why was this such a huge surprise? Why was it such a shocker? Like, I got my Wichita State Shockers hoodie on today. So, why was it such a shocker? Let's talk about that. So, to begin with, he was saying that he was choosing between Miami, Florida State, yuck, or the NFL draft. I thought the NFL draft was just him talking. I didn't think he was really considering it. I thought he was just putting the NFL draft out there to get Miami and Florida State to start like a bidding war against each other and the NFL. So I thought that was just a ploy to get more money out of the schools. So after the Miami, Florida State, and NFL decision talk, all of a sudden, I think it was late last week, just a few days ago, word came out that he was deciding between Miami and the NFL draft. So he had dropped Florida State from his decision making process. And once again, once I heard that, I'm like, he's not going to the NFL. This is just a way for him to get a little bit more money out of Miami. And yeah, I was honestly waiting on the announcement. Like, I was checking Twitter every few hours, just waiting for him to announce that he's going to Miami. I just did not even think he was seriously considering the NFL draft. And then this morning, news broke. Cam Ward decides to go to the NFL. So, okay, cool. So let's talk about the decision process. What are some of the things that he might have been weighing while making this decision? So if you ask me, he had two different decisions he was looking at. And it can get a little confusing, but I'm going to try to keep it simple because there's a lot of numbers and stuff that you got to be looking at in this. So he's projected to be drafted on day 3 of the NFL draft. So day 3, he's projected to be picked like in the 4th to 7th round, somewhere in between that, 4th, 7th round. Okay, so let's just keep those numbers out there right now. 4th and 7th rounds, somewhere in between there is where he's getting picked. So it was rumored that Cam Ward was offered somewhere between $1 and $1.5 million in NIL money to play at Miami for this coming year. So he's got, let's just say, $1 million. So he's got $1 million on the table to play at Miami for a year. So if he plays at Miami, he has the ability to obviously make that million, but then he could also perform really well. And instead of being in the 4th to 7th round draft pick, he could play really well and be in the 1st round to 2nd round. So instead of making the $1 million that the 4th round draft picks get in the NFL, he could potentially be making more like $13 to $14 million in the next year draft. So that's option one. Go play at Miami, make the $1 million at Miami, improve your stock, and get drafted even higher next year, or potentially perform worse, right? And then maybe go undrafted next year. So that's option one, is to play at Miami. Option two, obviously, is to go to the NFL. Right now, like I said earlier, he's projected between 4th and 7th round. 4th round players make about $1 million a year, and they typically sign a 4-year deal. That's not guaranteed 4 years, but it's 4 years, $1 million every year. That's what a 4th round draft pick typically gets. 7th round draft pick gets about $450,000 a year. That's what the going rate is for a 7th round draft pick right now. So if he performs well on draft day and he gets a 4th round pick, he's going to make about $1 million for every year for about 4 years. If he drops on draft day, he might end up making about $450,000 a year for the next 3 or 4 years. So that's that, right? So option two is that, but then he also has the opportunity in option two to perform really well in the NFL Combine. So if you remember years ago, like Johnny Manziel, he started off being projected as like a 3rd round pick or whatever, And then before you knew it, like he was second round draft pick because he was performing well in the combine. And then first round, well, not really performing well in the combine, but just news and all kind of people just talking and talking and talking. Before you know it, he went from third round to second round to first pick, and you're just like, dang, well, where is he gonna go? So Cam Ward has the not option, but there's a possibility that he performs so well in the NFL Combine that he goes from being a third day pick to maybe a first day pick where he's getting picked in the second round if he performs really well in the Combine. So those are his two options: Miami over here, or go to the NFL and just bet on yourself. And he obviously chose to bet on himself to perform well in the draft combine and make his stock go up so high that he gets picked on the first day or second day, first round, third round, somewhere like that. So that's what he was weighing. He obviously chose to bet on himself. I can't be too mad at that because I bet on myself all the time anyway. All right, so I know a whole lot of Hurricanes fans right now feeling a little upset, discouraged, maybe a little panicked. But what I tell all of my employees is don't panic, plan it. So that means don't get all crazy, hysterical, worried, tripping out. Actually start thinking of what the plan is to fix the problem. So let's think about what this plan is. What is the Hurricanes' mindset right now as far as the coaching staff? The news came out that they're looking at KJ Jefferson, which I did a video on, I guess a few weeks ago. I don't know when that was. He's a quarterback at Arkansas. He's transferring from there. I'm a big fan of his. I hadn't really heard much of him until I started watching a bunch of film on him once he got into the transfer portal. But he's a big, strong quarterback. He can throw it off the run. He can run around defenders, and he can also run through defenders. So he's not a Michael Vick type where he's running around everybody. He can also be like Tim Tebow where he's going to lower his head and run through people for a first down. Super impressive. And then I don't know the dude, obviously, but everything that I see online and what I read about and what I hear the coaches at Arkansas say is that he was an outstanding leader. Obviously, the Hurricanes need something like that. He only has 1 year of eligibility left, so he'll be a rental, basically, for the Hurricanes. The other option that they're looking at is Malachi Nelson from USC. He came out of high school as a 5-star recruit, a near perfect score. So he was a 99 out of 100 score coming out of high school. Number one quarterback in the nation, and he's a 4-star transfer now. He played in one game at USC. So it's not really, we can't look at a bunch of film in college from him, obviously, and say, oh, yeah, he can do this and he can do that at the college level. He only played one game. He threw the ball 3 times and had 1 completion. So we got to just throw away his college game film. There's nothing you can get from that. Not enough information out there. So we just got to look at what he did in high school and try to project that into what he potentially could do in college. But the good thing about that, since he only played one game, he was able to redshirt this year, and he has 4 years of eligibility left. So what I think we should do, Hurricane Nation, I think we need to get both quarterbacks. I know Ja'Cory Brown, Emory Williams. I know Emory is coming back, but Brown, we don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if he's going to transfer. None of us know. So I think it's best to just project that Emory's coming back. Brown is probably not. I think it's fair to project that. I think that we need to get both of these quarterbacks, KJ Jefferson and Malachi Nelson. KJ would come in as the starter for this coming year. He would lead the team, and then we would have Malachi Nelson come in and just tell him, you need to learn under this quarterback here, learn our processes, learn our system, learn the playbook, learn when to check the ball down, all those kind of things. This is going to almost be like a redshirt year because you're probably not going to ever play in a game, but you need to come here and learn as much as possible about Miami Hurricanes football. I think we need to get both of them. So that's that. Let's transfer to the last thing I want to talk about in this video. If you're a Miami Hurricanes fan, it's obvious that it's natural to feel like you've been played a little bit by Cam Ward. I kind of feel like I got played a little bit. I'm sure y'all feel the same way. But what I'm going to ask that we do is let's not badmouth the man on Twitter and on social media like I've been seeing. People are coming for this dude's head on Twitter. It's getting kind of ugly out there. So let's relax on that. the last thing that we want to be as a fan base is disingenuous. That's the last thing you want to be in a professional setting. It's the last thing you want to be damn near anything that you do in life. You don't want to be disingenuous. You don't want to wax poetic about somebody, talk about how great of a leader somebody is and how great they would, how great of a fit they would be in your system and how you really want them to play for your team and all that stuff. And then once they decide to go elsewhere, you say the total opposite. Oh, well, you're a fumble machine. You're turnover prone. You're this, you're that. You don't like, we don't want to do that, okay? The fact is, Cam Ward is an outstanding quarterback, outstanding college quarterback. Let's just be honest. We all would have loved to see him play for the Hurricanes. Unfortunately, he dragged this process out, I think, far too long, and it jeopardized some things that we could have done because there were plenty of quarterbacks out there in their transfer portal that I believe Miami was turning a blind eye to because they were so fixated on Cam Ward. And I think that Miami expected him to make a decision a lot sooner than he did. And while we're looking at Cam Ward, all these quarterbacks over here are just slowly crossing their names off the list because they're choosing other schools. So it's fair to be upset with the dude, but let's not publicly talk crazy about the man. I don't think that's the right thing to do. Um, and then obviously it would turn off other people too. Like if we have some other people who are considering coming to Miami and we're talking positively about them while they're in the decision process, in the back of their minds they're gonna be like, well, you said this about Cam Ward, and as soon as he chose to go somewhere else, you called him a this and you called him a that. Like, we don't want to be that, okay? So let's just chill out a little bit, all right? Let's just wish the man good luck. Well, I don't believe in luck. Let's just say God bless the man, and I mean, I'm sure he'll do pretty well to decent in NFL. I think he'll end up going. I think he'll be in the NFL for 3 or 4 years, and I think he'll probably be out. But that does not change the fact that he's an outstanding quarterback, outstanding college football quarterback that would have done really well at Miami. All right, so that's all that I got for you today. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. We had a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we did not meet that goal, unfortunately. But what's a goal if it's not lofty and crazy, right? It typically takes people about a year. They say between 12 to 16 months to reach 1,000 subscribers. I was working to do that in 2.5 months. So we almost did it. I'm sure we'll get to 1,000 pretty soon, though. Anyway, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. God bless. Take care. Peace.